If you've ever looked at an Etsy listing and thought, wait, how is a sweatshirt only $6? You're not the only one. A lot of listings show a really cheap price in search, but when you actually click inside, the real product is way more expensive. Today, I'm going to show you how Etsy listings actually work behind the scenes, how I upload my own listing, and one small trick I use that helps my listings compete with those cheap-looking ones. I'll walk you through my entire process from mockups to publishing a listing and explain some of the strategy behind it. Hi, I'm POD Soloist from Malaysia. Over 5 years on Etsy, I hit 6 figures. And now I'm sharing an easier way to do it too. Follow my free YouTube series, grab the SEO tools in the description, and join our community on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn to share your thoughts. So here's the reality. I'm currently building my Etsy print-on-demand store, and one of the biggest problems is competition. When you search for something like a sweatshirt, you'll see listings starting at $6 or $7. But when you click them, the sweatshirt is actually $30 or more. What sellers are doing is listing a very cheap variation so Etsy shows that price in search results. For example, a small sticker, a PNG file, or showing out of stock for the $6 shirt. And that cheap variation becomes the display price. So buyers click the listing because it looks like the cheapest option. At first I thought, is this just clickbait? But after studying how people do it, I realized it's more like a lead magnet. And if you're running a print-on-demand store, understanding this is actually really important. So today I'll show you how I structure my listings to compete in that environment. So this is how I upload my listings. First thing I do is prepare all my mocks. I usually generate a batch of mockups for a design, then I organize them and delete the ones I don't want. Once that's done, I don't create listings from scratch. Instead, I duplicate an existing listing template. This saves a lot of time because the structure is already there. All I need to do is replace the mockups, adjust the thumbnail, and update variations. The first image is really important because that's what buyers see in search results. So I make sure the design is the main focus. After that, I set up the variations. For my listings, I usually have color and size, and I link each color to the correct mockup image. So if someone selects royal blue, the royal blue mockup appears automatically. That helps customers visualize what they're buying. Then I confirm that all the colors are available in the supplier catalog. For example, this tank top is next level 1533, which is available in a lot of colors. So I double check everything before publishing. Then comes the pricing strategy. My base price might be around $49.90, but I'm currently running a 50% off sale, so the starting price becomes around $24.95. That makes the listing more attractive in search results. But here's the interesting part. To compete with those $6 listings, I add a cheap variation. In my case, I sometimes add something like a kiss cut sticker. That sticker acts like a lead magnet option, so when Etsy shows the listing in search, it can display a much lower starting price, which increases the chance people will click. Once someone clicks the listing, they can choose either different colors tank tops of different sizes or kiss cut sticker. So the listing still sells the main product, but it competes better in search. Once everything looks good, I publish the listing. Etsy charges 20 cents per listing and it lasts for 4 months. If someone buys the product, the listing automatically renews, so you don't really have to worry about it. After publishing, the listing appears in the shop with a discounted price. Then customers can choose color, size, product variation, and place their order. One of the reasons I like print on demand is that most of the process is automated. When someone places an order, the order goes to the supplier, production takes about 3 to 5 business days, shipping usually takes 2 to 7 days in the US. The supplier prints the shirt and ships it directly to the customer. Once the item ships, the tracking number automatically syncs with Etsy, so you don't have to manually update anything. The order just moves from production, shipped, in transit. For my description, I keep a simple structure. At the top, I repeat the title because some people say that helps with Google ranking. Then I include how to order, product features, garment details, sizing notes, production time, shipping time. For garment information, I usually copy the specs from the supplier page. For example, next level 1533 women's racerback tank runs small. This way customers know exactly what they're buying. Right now, my store is still growing. But I've noticed that small changes like better thumbnails, clearer mockups, and competitive starting prices can make a big difference in click-through rates. Even something simple like adding a low price variation can help your listing compete in search results. And since Etsy charges only 20 cents per listing, it's actually very cheap to test different ideas. So the real strategy is just publish listings, experiment, and see what works. My current goal is to keep uploading listings consistently and improving the store step by step. I'm also documenting the process because I think it's interesting to show how an Etsy store actually grows from the beginning. So in the next videos, I'll probably share things like how I design my shirts, how I create mockups, and how I try to get more traffic to the listings. If you're building an Etsy store too, feel free to follow along. And if you have questions about print on demand or Etsy listings, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.